Hello everyone, welcome back to the Talos Principle 2. We've arrived back in New Jerusalem and we've had to leave Byron behind. I'm absolutely devastated by that because Byron's one of my favourite characters to speak to. I did really like him. But he overloaded or something and he collapsed and disappeared inside the mega structure, and then it started to collapse around us and we had to get out, and then we've returned to New Jerusalem. So we need to go and talk to...
The world is full of suffering. Every living organism suffers. Animals kill other animals to eat. And it always ends with death, torn apart or wasting away. This is what surrounds us. This is what's happening outside those walls, every hour of every day. It's our ethical responsibility as sentient beings to lessen suffering. That's what it means to be human. To understand that it is your duty to transform this world into something better. That's what the founder meant when she said that we can turn the world into a work of art. Despite what happened to him, Byron was right. We have to keep going.
This is blasphemy. Byron was punished for failing the founder's trials. And you want us to dig deeper? Just because you can't accept that suffering is natural and necessary?
Please, everyone, stop using the public frequency. If you want to argue, use your interface or speak in person.
Okay, it's stirred up some emotions there amongst the people here in New Jerusalem. What do I think about what was just said there? I don't think we can lessen the suffering of everything. It's just nature is awful, let's be honest. There are very few creatures that die peacefully of old age. Let's be honest with that. As humans, we are extremely lucky in that regard, that we can, more often than not, die somewhat peacefully, I guess, is what we can say. But I don't think it's really on us, even though we have the more sentience than say other creatures to a certain extent. I don't really think it's down to us to lessen that suffering. Yeah, you too. It's not, you've got to let nature take its course for the most part. There are some things you can do to change things around.
See,
but
I told you it was Athena who sent Prometheus.
How do you know it was Athena?
Because she's the one who built the giant pyramid.
Sure, but how do you know it wasn't Cornelius who sent Prometheus?
Because Cornelius was here?
And where did Prometheus appear?
Come on.
How do you know it wasn't Miranda? Maybe she got bored of waiting.
I don't buy it. I think Athena is testing us.
Why would she test us?
To see if we can use those new technologies, like the body replication.
If those new technologies are such a big deal, why is she putting them in puzzles?
Because play is how we learn.
Maybe she's trying to tell us the opposite. That it's all just childish stuff that doesn't really matter.
The last power failure almost caused a derailment. It all matters.
You're starting to sound like Byron. You saw how that turned out.
They'll find him.
Sure.
yeah, we will. We will find him. I will not rest until we find Byron again. Yeah, this has really got the place stirred up, because everything we've been doing over the last few episodes in the expedition has been like live streamed back to everyone, and everyone else can kind of watch it and comment on it and stuff. Atal, hello. What have you got to say?
1K, welcome back to the city. As you can tell, your discoveries have had quite the impact.
Yeah, I've noticed. I heard your speech.
I decided to take a stand. It started with what you said about extending our cat's lifespans, actually.
Oh, do I
It
start
got me
all this?
thinking about our responsibilities towards other life forms. What's life to most living creatures? Fear, hunger, pain, and in the end, death. Involuntary cessation of existence. That's horrifying, 1K. Horrifying.
I mean, you're
And
not
we
wrong.
are the
It's
only
horrifying.
ones who can make it better.
Like I say, I think about this. I'm in complete agreement. So you mean we re-engineer the whole planet? What exactly is our ethical duty in all of this? Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna try to lessen the suffering for everything, you will have to re-engineer absolutely everything. There's this kind of movement I've seen on Twitter. I feel like it's a spoof movement or an engagement bait, but the whole group of people who advocate for herbivorizing the carnivores, trying to get carnivores out in the wild to become herbivores, to stop death and within all animals, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. You would have to, it just wouldn't work. It's just stupid. So yeah.
Yes. Carefully and slowly, but yes. That's what civilization is. That's what it's always been. Creating structures to lessen suffering. But this time we include everyone. We use our intelligence to get rid of as much of the horror of existence as we can for all living beings.
I just can't see how that's going to work, though. I don't think it's our responsibility. You just can't do it. Things have got to eat. Things have got to be eaten. That's just the way things are. And if you start going that deeply into engineering stuff to stop that, think about all the implications and how much you would have to change, and there's no way you'd know every outcome of that. It just wouldn't work. It's pure hubris.
Hubris is just an excuse for not taking responsibility. It's witnessing injustice and shrugging and saying it's fine. It was meant to be this way by some vague higher power that apparently gets off on misery. It's cowardice, 1K.
Nah, I don't agree with that.
Don't be a coward.
No, don't agree with that at all. Again, you're pushing things onto a higher power when
Attention all
it's
citizens.
not.
The Gehenna Memorial Interactive Fiction Exhibition is now open to visitors.
Oh, nice. We didn't see that last time.
Please note that due to an unauthorized strike,
I think it's that
public
one.
transport will be temporarily unavailable. May the founder be with you.
Okay. Helga.
Hello, new one. Are you browsing or buying?
Oh, what? I didn't see any stock. What kind of shop is this?
The kind that trades in hopes and dreams. Yours for the right price. Is there something your heart desires?
Perhaps.
I've uploaded my most popular items to your interface. Does anything there spark your imagination?
What have we got? Internal monologue, 10 credits. Future prediction. Inner peace for 1,000 credits. Sensory tuning. A clean start. Variable price. Credits. What? Yeah, I don't know if I have any credits.
Oh, you don't have any credits yet. Well, let me extend you some credit.
Oh.
Ka-ching! 55 credits. Just make sure you spend them with me. They're not worth much anywhere else. Now, what was it you wanted?
Okay, I got 55. Well, I can't buy it in a piece. I can't afford that. I can get a future prediction. I don't think I really want an internal monologue. I'm doing a good enough job of being my own internal monologue, I think. What about some sensory tuning? Let's try that. What is that?
A very popular choice. Enhanced sensory perception lets you distinguish sounds, shapes, and colors at greater distance. It's 10 credits.
I'll take it.
Okay, I'm updating your settings now. And hey presto, superhuman senses. Does the air taste fresher? Do you hear the birds chirping outside the door? And beyond that, the river bubbling through the dam.
I don't know. No, I feel nothing.
Nothing as in you're not impressed by the stat gains, or nothing as in I've accidentally erased your entire sensory system.
Oh dear. I still feel something.
Okay, Phew. I'll let you into a secret. You and I don't have fleshy appendages like our ancestors. What we can sense is mostly a function of where we direct our attention. Anyway, I hope you find something worth paying attention to. So, something else perhaps?
I feel like yeah, none of this is... Okay, let's try a future prediction.
For 20 credits, I can peer into your future and tell you what I see.
Read my future.
Let me consult the algorithms. Oh dear. I'm afraid you're going to change the world. You will have a choice, but whatever you do, New Jerusalem will never be the same again. I'm sorry it's not better news.
We kind of knew
Best
that already,
not to
right?
worry about it, dear. You just do your best to have fun in the meantime.
Sure.
So, something else perhaps?
I don't think so. I think that's all.
Before you go, do you have a moment to participate in some customer feedback?
No.
Are you satisfied with what I've given you?
No, never ask me again, seriously. Yeah, maybe later.
I understand. Please come back if you need anything else.
Yeah, as I say, it does seem like all she's selling is words, but then technically the currency is words as well, right? Because it was just, I'll give you some credits and then I'll spend them with her. Right, is this Cornelius? No, it's not.
Oh, 1K. What are you doing here?
I need to see Cornelius. I'm looking for Cornelius.
Ah, I assume it has something to do with your expedition? I must admit I haven't been following the news. Sorry, been a little lost lately.
Cornelius seems to have been at the megastructure with Athena. Or do we say, are you okay? She doesn't need to know. Are you okay?
No, not really. When you asked me what I would do now that my job is redundant, I don't know, I guess I hadn't thought about it. I had just focused on getting there. And after you left, it all just rushed over me. The truth is, I don't know who I am without this. Creating new life, guiding people into existence, that's who I am. More importantly, I think that's who I want to be. And if we stop growing, that's the one thing I can't be anymore. That's why I wanted to talk to Cornelius. He was there at the beginning. He knows where we came from. I thought he might help me understand where I could go next.
Yeah, I mean, you could find a new calling. You could probably adapt that kind of, bringing people into existence, so you're sort of showing them some kind of teacher or something. Yeah, you could definitely adapt it. You shouldn't have to give up who you are. It's a sacrifice but necessary for the planet. Yeah, you shouldn't have to give up who you are.
Thank you, 1K. I don't want to. I liked who I was. Who I still am. Now, you said you were looking for Cornelius?
Yes, he seems to have been at the megastructure with Athena.
Oh, that's... well, I suppose it shouldn't really come as a surprise. They were very close, you know. After she disappeared, he went away for a long time. On a research expedition, he said. To be honest, everyone assumed he was working out his grief over being left behind. Many of the first companions were deeply shocked by her decision, particularly Byron.
Where is he now?
That's the thing. I wanted to talk to him about my future, but he wasn't responding to my messages. So I came here to talk to him, and he seems to have vanished.
The idea where he might have gone?
No. The truth is that for the longest time, he barely left the museum. He was always at his terminal, working day and night. I asked him what he was doing once, and he said he was saving the past.
Did you check his house?
I did, on my way here. And I messaged most of his other friends. He doesn't seem to be anywhere in the city at all.
Can I access his terminal?
I suppose so. It seems a little unethical, but then it is just his work terminal, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Good luck with everything, 1K. And thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
No problem. Right, actually, I just remembered I did have, I think, well, there's some social media things here. Let's just go through these. City News. Crier. The expedition to the Founders Island has suffered a serious setback as all contact with Byron was lost during a foray into the interior of the megastructure. Byron is assumed to be alive, but trapped within a data stream overload and unable to disconnect. Several sources in the government expressed a lack of surprise at this turn of events, citing the first companion's history of rash behaviour. Mayor Herman Lewis gave Byron this job to appease a certain segment of the population, one source told me. But from what we're hearing, that segment is shrinking rapidly as people realise that Byron's ideas are too utopian for the real world. I don't know, I quite liked a lot of his thoughts, really. Okay, what's this? Jimmy Fix or Gammy Fix 312 now open. Jeremy, I'm very happy to announce that the Gehenna Memorial Interactive Fiction Exhibition, that's what it stands for, is open to visitors. Come play the 3 winning works of the Gehenna Memorial Pavilion. Oh, Irenia, finally, can't wait. Letitia, wonderful news, I'll be attending today. And Budas, nice. Sagaran, will these be made available through the interface too? Jeremy, yes, after the exhibition is over. The optimist, so Neve. The pessimist is commonly spoken of as the man in revolt. He is not. Firstly, because it requires some cheerfulness to continue in revolt, and secondly, because pessimism appeals to the weaker side of everybody, and the pessimist therefore drives as roaring a trade as the publican. The person who is really in revolt is the optimist, who generally lives and dies in a desperate and suicidal effort to persuade all other people how good they are. It has been proved 100 times over that if you really wish to enrage people and make them angry, even unto death, the right way to do it is to tell them that they are all the sons of God. Jesus Christ was crucified, it may be remembered, not because of anything he said about God, but on the charge of saying that a man could, in 3 days, pull down and rebuild the temple. Every one of the great revolutionists, from Messiah to Shelley, have been optimists. They have been indignant, not about the badness of existence, but about the slowness of men in realizing its goodness. The prophet who is stoned is not a brawler or a marplot. He is simply a rejected lover. He suffers from an unrequited attachment to things in general. G.K. Chesterton. It's like, or Rip Byron, TLDR. Yeah. Rip Byron. Well, they're all just assuming he's dead. We don't know if he's dead. He may just be lost. He could still be saved. Sagoran. I was going to say something sarcastic, but you know what? In spite of the optimism, I really hope so. God, that's a weird thread, isn't it? Okay, well, that's fine. Let's carry on. Use the work terminal. Oh, here we go. Right, notes. Lab location inaccessible, deliberate, unclear. User profile, yes. Gold, puzzles as a barrier, yes. Hidden as self-protection, likely. External help for upload, yes. Ask Herman, no. Trust 1K, undecided. Applicable to Calvin, no. Applicable to Sarai with Nomia? No, say that. Noma, yes. Author Cornelius, so what is that? So we did come across that lab that was inaccessible. Maybe he's relating to that? The gold puzzles as a barrier. We haven't done the gold puzzles yet because I think we need to do all the lost puzzles first, and we've been leaving those for a while. Yeah, okay, I don't know. What is this? Some schematics. Sending that to Yakut. So what was that then?
This is what Cornelius was working on? Strange. It looks a bit like the blueprints for the Somnodrome, but no, it's not quite that. Is he trying to isolate something in the buffer? Maybe Melville can make sense of it, but I think this might be a dead end.
I need to finish up with the mayor. You can head back to the VTOL whenever you're ready. I'll meet you there. No rush, though.
Okay, so we go back to the megastructure. Well, before we do, let's go and see if there's anyone else we need to speak to around here.
Welcome back, 1K. Sorry, can't let you through. We're on strike.
What's going on?
Yesterday, there was a sudden brownout in the grid, and we almost had a derailment. We've been warning the mayor for months, and all he ever gives us is waffle about the goal. This can't go on.
Okay. We could either support him, or we could disagree with him but support his right to strike. We could agree with you but say the methods are wrong. Personally, I think strikes are a good way of doing things. I think protests and strikes. I'm on board with that kind of stuff. Sure, yeah, I'm gonna say so. I can't remember exactly, because they want. Oh, what was it they wanted? It was right back at the beginning when we were here before, when we spoke to them last. That was ages ago, and I don't remember exactly what their policies were. I'm not sure. We'll say we'll support him.
Thank you. Your support means a lot to us. We need to get through to people.
Did you hear Tal's speech?
I heard it 15 times when he was practicing it. I think Tal, like many of us, feels that the time for change is long overdue. The technology you uncovered on the island is the final catalyst for that change, or it should be.
Yeah, I should go. Maybe I should have read the placards first. We deserve a functional city. Public transportation must be safe. I mean, I can support that, so I guess I can't go through, right? Oh, I can. Fine. I'll go through anyway.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So, what are they blockading exactly? Maybe the methods aren't quite right. What was this one? Friends of New Jerusalem Gazebo. Let's just see if there's anyone else who wants to speak. Hi. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, let's go. I want to look at the Gehenna Memorial, because we didn't see that last time we came, so I definitely want to go and have a look at that. Which I think was this one. Yes. Who are we here? Neve.
Welcome to the Gehenna Memorial Interactive Fiction Exhibition. Oh, it's you, 1K. Please tell me, you were there when everything went sideways. Do you think Byron will be all right?
I've got to believe that. We can say, I don't know, his mind was stuck in a data stream overload, or if we find him, he'll be fine. I'm going to be optimistic about it.
Oh, Byron, always getting into trouble. He's been like that for 1,000 years, you know. But losing him would be terrible. But anyway, you've come to take a well-deserved break from your expedition. So let's talk about something else.
Okay. What's Gehenna? We know this because I did the whole playthrough of Gehenna as well. So we saw it from the inside.
Gehenna was a place in the simulation. A prison where Elohim exiled the minds that didn't fit his plans. In time, the prison became a community with a culture of its own.
What happened to the people of Gehenna?
In the very last moments of the simulation, Elohim realized what he'd done and sent his messenger Uriel to free the prisoners. They were uploaded to the gold disc, and their legacy is part of all of us.
Why text adventures?
Text adventures were one of the few art forms available to the people of Gehenna. By continuing to work in that medium, we keep their memory alive.
How do you see the role of the artist in society?
I don't think the role of the artist should be reduced to any single social function. The artist isn't an educator or a moralist. Art isn't about teaching us lessons or imparting values. Nor do I think it's simply self-expression. The best art reaches out beyond the self, into something ineffable. The creative impulse can't really be quantified or predicted. That's why artistic freedom is so profoundly essential. Without the freedom to shock, to offend, to transgress, art becomes stagnant.
Okay. Well, where could Cornelius have gone?
If it's true that he knew where Athena was, then he's gone back to the island. There's no way he'd ever leave her. He must have some kind of plan. But I don't know more than that. He's been very private these last few centuries.
Well, thanks, that's all. Okay, well, let's have a look at some of these interactive adventures then. Jefferson Goldblum and the Spectre of Modernity by Rat. Another story in much celebrated Jefferson Goldblum's shared universe originated in Gehenna. It maintains characteristic writing style of the series but focuses on a new set of themes. Though these were great. We used before. Let's have a go at this one. Is that a true story? Right, let's start. Let's do it. Start. You, Jefferson Goldblum, deftly step out of your charging pod and walk into the main lobby of the Goldblum Institute. There's a humble abode filled with a small 4-seater sofa, a table, a coffee bar and an arboretum. Ginny HD, your fiancée and leading member of the Caserati Vice Jazz Ensemble, greets you from the sofa while Frankie Soy Sauce waves from the coffee bar and the Velociraptor John Malcolm drives out of the Arboretum on his motorcycle wearing a green armoured t-shirt. Yep, this is Jefferson Goldblum, alright. There's so many kind of Jurassic Park references in that. Okay, let's speak to Genie HD. Oh, Jefferson, cries Genie HD. Good morning. Good morning, Genie HD, you reply. Did you sleep well, my darling? Oh, Jefferson, I slept most dreadfully. Why is that? Is your charging pod too hard? No, Jefferson, that's not it at all, Genie HD mourns. My charging pod is very comfortable. I don't know why I slept so poorly, but I woke up on this small 4-seater sofa, which is strange because I went to sleep in my room. You think about this carefully while stroking your guitar. Genie HD has no problem recharging most nights. You're about to reply when a klaxon resounds throughout the Goldblum Institute. Let's ask John Malcolm what's happening. Who was John Malcolm? He was the Velociraptor, right? Yeah, okay. Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirps John Malcolm loudly before he shrugs his reptilian shoulders. Sorry, my friend, I'm afraid this saying doesn't translate very well. Maybe you should shut the klaxon off before we continue this conversation. Okay, sure, we'll shut it off. You walk over to the computer terminal and attempt to shut down the klaxon, but the machine refuses to accept your command without the correct password. John Malcolm revs up his motorcycle, a sure sign that he's deeply worried. Jefferson, you have to do something about this noise, he calls. We're going to play our guitar. That solves everything, right? You unsling your guitar from your back and check the strings to make sure that they're in the proper order. Then you take a heroic stance with your chest puffed out, your legs splayed wide. There's no other way of playing a guitar. And your guitar held heroically aloft. Yep, that's how you play guitar. I should know I can play guitar. You play a chord, a perfect chord, followed by another equally perfect chord, and another and another. As always, all the chords that you play are perfect. This is your greatest burden. Mollified, the klaxon shuts itself off. Oh my god, this is genius. Talk to your team. You turn from the now silent central computer console and look at your team, who are all gazing back at you with varying levels of wonderment in their eyes. Ask why the klaxon was blaring. John Malcolm dismounts his motorcycle with an air of certainty and queries the central computer console with the sure taps of his reptilian claws upon the keyboard. It seems, John Malcolm says, that the sensors have detected a threat of galactic magnitude. Oh no, cries Ginny HD, while Frankie Soy Sauce drops his cup of joe in fear. Let's ask what the threat is. A shudder goes through John Malcolm's magnificent plumage. Something far more dangerous than anything we've encountered so far, Jefferson, he proclaims. Oh, John Malcolm, what is it? Exclaims Ginny HD. What could it possibly be? We've already defeated the dastardly Dr. Elon. What could be more dangerous than him? This time, my friends, John Malcolm says, after a pause of precisely 2.5 seconds, we'll be up against the Spectre of Modernity. What is the Spectre? What is the Spectre of Modernity, you ask, while tuning your guitar for the coming battle? I'm glad that you asked, answers John Malcolm. As you all well know, for I have told this tale many times, my people have feared for many millennia that this day would come. John Malcolm smooths the feathers along his neck with his claws. Tell him to continue. The Spectre, as you also know, will bring an end to the old and ring in a new era of unparalleled technological advancement, until there is no space left in the world for such cherished human and dinosaurian qualities like love, creativity, and the ability to taste umami, loyalty and friendship. The circle of renewal will end, and we will only move forward at an ever-accelerating pace until we reach the limits of existence itself. When will the Spectre arrive? The spectre of modernity travels at the speed of time itself, says John Malcolm gravely. It has already arrived, Jefferson. We just haven't encountered it yet. Frankie Soy Sauce turns from its coffee maker, a fresh cup of battery acid clutched carefully in his human fingers. We must do something, Jefferson. I do not care for umami, but if the spectre takes away my ability to taste coffee, I don't know whatever I will do. That's a serious possibility. Reassure him. All tastes are precious to us, Frankie, you say. Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and yes, also umami. We shan't surrender any of them, for they are what renders us human. Let's take action. Friends, humans, dinosaurians, countrymen. Possessed by a sudden urge to act, you jump upon the coffee maker, much to Frankie Soy Sauce's dismay. We cannot let this threat to our very way of life go unanswered. No, we must stand against the spectre and not yield until we are victorious. Will you stand with me? Wait for the response. Yes, my darling, anything for human world, cries Ginny HD. Friend, you know that I will stand by you until the bitter end, adds John Malcolm solemnly. For coffee, shouts Frankie Soy Sauce, and for love. But, asks Ginny HD, after the shouting and swearing of fealty is done, how will we prevail? The spectre of modernity is too powerful for you to fight it on your own. Of course she is right, as she usually is. We're going to take John Malcolm with us. Obviously we're taking the Raptor with us. Jefferson, I'm honoured that you would choose me as your companion on this quest, John Malcolm says, flapping his flightless, sparsely feathered arms in gratitude. Together we will defeat the spectre of modernity, and our adventures will live on in song for generations to come. Tell me, friend Jefferson, where shall I take us on my motorcycle? I don't know, do you just go and confront it? Let's go. When you approach the lair of the spectre of modernity, you decide to leave your companion behind, knowing that you cannot risk another life in this final confrontation. Sometimes heroes have to stand alone. I think maybe we should have gone to some other places first, maybe to gather stuff, but let's just do it. Enter the mechanical lair. Inside the mechanical lair, the spectre of modernity awaits for you, sitting translucently on the titanium throne. The spectre of modernity, you murmur through gritted teeth. We meet at last. You are mistaken, Professor Dr. Goldblum, the spectre of modernity says. We have met many times before. I am your father, and your mother. Request clarification. Who do you think inspired you to add the power of electricity to your guitar? Who upgraded Ginny from SD to HD? Who, indeed, deciphered the mathematical secrets of the chords, that arcane knowledge upon which some of your greatest adventures depend? I was your ally all along, Jefferson. The foul wizard of crime has conspired to turn you against me. It was he who enchanted your klaxon. That actually makes a lot of sense. Sorry. No biggie, says the Spectre. Now let us defeat the wizard of crime together. If now he conspires to steal all that you have accomplished with the power of his enchantments that confuse the mind. Let's go back to the Institute. You rush back to the Goldblum Institute, where you find the wizard of crime taking advantage of the absence of your heroic friends, out seeking other ways to stop the spectre of modernity, to rifle through your belongings. He's surprised to see you. I see my scheme has failed. Curses! Were it not for that scheming spectre, I would have stolen all your wealth and added it to my ever-growing hoard. For that is my scheme, to steal and steal until the whole world is mine. Wahaha! And so you arrest the foul sorcerer instead of the development of human potential, and become good friends with the spectre of modernity. Just call me Mo, the Spectre says. I'm sure we'll have many wonderful adventures together. The end. Amazing. I'm sure there's multiple things there, and there's a whole bunch of other ones to do. But okay, there are 2 more to do. But yeah, I think we've kind of outstayed our welcome there. That's definitely something I'll come back to that at some point, I'm sure. But there are puzzles and megastructures, and Byron is waiting. We can't be playing games all the time. We need to rescue Byron. So let's go back to the VTOL and let's get on with the adventure.
We must listen to the wisdom of the ancient writers, or we will fail the Founder's trial. The megastructure must be rejected.
No, we need to learn from it, I would say. Talk to... What's this? Oh, that's what that says. Listen to the ancient writers. So is this... I didn't actually catch who that was talking. Was it this guy?
You are the Founder's chosen, but you are in grave danger of going astray. Heed my words, 1K. If you fail this trial, a year from now, New Jerusalem will lie in ruins.
Cite your source. Yeah, and you know this how?
Anyone can see the truth if they are willing to open their eyes. Have you not read the books of our ancestors? In every one of them, the same story is told, again and again, that the pursuit of knowledge can only lead to death and grief.
I reject that premise.
That is what all the great ancient visionaries foresaw. Listen to their warnings. Seek happiness in tranquility. And avoid ambition.
No, I don't think all ancient writers believe that. There were other strands of thought that can easily become a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you can no longer imagine a better future, you cannot build one. Or yes, there must be a reason those ancient writers keep repeating that theme. No, I don't. Yeah, easily become a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you can no longer imagine a better future, you cannot build one.
The very idea of a better future is what's rotten. That is what the ancients were trying to tell us. All the problems of the world come from those who think the world needs to be improved.
You, sir, are more on the highest order. So, okay, well, we won't go that one just yet, although I am teetering on the verge of that one. So we should even try to make things better?
Yes. Progress is a fantasy. Things never truly change. All we can do is prevent our hubris from making things worse.
You, sir, are an idiot. Okay, let's move on then. There's a lot of different opinions here amongst the citizens of New Jerusalem. It's going to be interesting to see where this develops, where this takes us to. The weather's changed. Last time we were here, it was bright and beautiful and sunny, and we could see clearly, because I used like that as a thumbnail for one of the pictures, and it was bright and blue, but now it's just kind of overcast and a bit dreary. That's kind of reflecting the mood of the people here, I think. Okay, right. Let's go. Where is the mayor? He was kind of hanging around here before. Oh, here they are.
Could you join us for a quick debrief?
Certainly.
Attending today are advisors from engineering, the archive scholars, and Helga.
Yes, don't mind me. I'm just an admirer of governmental transparency.
Yes, well. While the mayor is briefed by Alcatraz, he's asked us to review recent events. Byron's loss has unsettled us all. It may be too dangerous to allow this expedition to continue.
No, we've got to go back. May not be safe, but we can't leave Byron behind. Byron took risks, we'll be more careful. The island has technology we can't afford to ignore. We're hot on the Founder's heels, we must keep searching. The island's one big puzzle that's halfway solved, we can't quit now, that's very true. Frankly, it's too dangerous, we should leave the island well alone. Definitely not that one. It may not be safe, but we can't leave Byron behind. That's the honest truth there.
I agree. We cannot be guided by fear. We must do what's right.
Let's not forget the dam's falling apart. We can't depend on Hydro forever. With just a fraction of the power that island can generate, we could grow this city into a planetary society.
Or, quite possibly, destroy ourselves in the process.
We should trust ourselves to make good of this opportunity, or we should beware the fate of those who wield power beyond their reckoning. We have more important matters to discuss. I think we should trust ourselves to make good of this opportunity.
Wise words from one so young. Yet I submit that island holds secrets far more valuable than mere energy generation.
What could be more important?
The Somnodrome, of course. If we could find a working model, it would herald a sea change in our moral and self-understanding. The question of how we should build New Jerusalem would simply be moot.
How? Why?
The Somnodrome was supposed to let us interact with our own subconscious code. It's a cool idea, but it wouldn't necessarily solve all our problems.
My own studies prove that we operate on an intrinsic moral logic. It's what makes us human. But our access to it is only indirect. Our ancestors created art, philosophy, and parable to help bridge that gap. The Somnodrome would help us to cut out the middleman and ask the source directly. We would finally have an answer to the great moral questions.
So, it's a newfangled way to make the same old mistake of judging who's good and who's bad.
We're fortunate 1K preserved the Somnodrome for our study. Initial data suggests it was a prototype with substantial design flaws. But there may be a working device elsewhere on the island.
Then the question is, what would 1K do if they found it?
Oh, I'm not really sure that that's something that you really need to pursue. Yeah, I'd use it myself and see how I feel. No, I wouldn't destroy it. I don't like destroying things without investigating, learning more about it. I wouldn't necessarily share it straight away. I think I'd let the scholars investigate. You need to learn about things before you know what to do with it.
Yes, our wisdom will be essential in unraveling its secrets.
You're not the only people who can read a line of code, Rand.
You all sound so sure of what's best for this city. Do you ever think you might be so busy changing the world for the better, you'll forget how to see that it's perfect already?
So clearly there are different perspectives in the room.
Yeah, I'll say.
The only way we are going to move forward is if the team gets back out there. 1K, I believe Alcatraz is waiting for you at the VTOL. We'll be keeping an eye on your stream from here.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nuance here that we're possibly not addressing, but... Well, here we go. Okay, I think we're going to call it a day there. We will speak to... who is this? Oh, that's the mayor, I think. We'll speak to him... Yeah, we'll speak to him now, actually, before we get on the bit.
What can I do for you, 1K?
We have to rescue Byron.
I agree. We can't just leave one of our most important citizens in that death trap.
Honestly, his accent just makes me immediately suspicious of him. That's quite often an accent given to people who secretly turn out to be the bad guys, so I'm just a little bit concerned there. What do you think about the technologies we've discovered?
They all sound very promising, of course. Apparently, it's possible to just magic things into existence now. But what is the cost, 1K? There's always a cost.
Maybe. Well, I have to go.
It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I'm calling a day there. We'll be getting on the VTOL and going back to the megastructure in the next one. So, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to see where this goes. I'll see you then. Goodbye.